Ah! Hello. Yes, I know it's late. It's like 10 p.m. Uh, um, a certain tentacle monster who will not be named has convinced me to stream Holocure. So I'm gonna do that. That is all. This game needs a controller. Okay. Well, I got my Xbox controller right here. Hey. Yeah, okay. I'm assuming this game has some sort of full screen mode. Let's see. Uh, yes, I too remember 2016. Okay. Um. There we go. Yeah. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm starting with the Gen 1 EN, it seems. Who to start with? Well, the person who, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that familiar with these. Oh, who am I kidding? The person who convinced me to play this really likes Ina, so I'm gonna pick Ina. Okay. Yes. Shocking, I know. Okay. Uh... Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Well, I actually don't have the strongest of opinions on Gen 1 EN, if you believe it. Like, I like them, they're funny. Especially, the, shenanigans that, the Reaper and the chicken got up to, but, you know. One of my favorite Hololive clips is still the one where oh, nice. That's good. Yeah, good to see the game still getting updates. I haven't played this game before, so I don't really have an opinion on its current status. But yeah, one of my favorite Hololive clips is probably still the one where it's yeah, is still the one where where Callie is like flusteredly talking about how she drew Kiara's thighs. Which is probably a really early, like, in their career. It's probably within like the first few months of them joining Hololive. Oh my. It's a really funny clip too, because Mori's, yeah. Because Mori's like stumbling over her words, like trying to explain why she drew Kiara that thick, and Kiara's just like Oh god, there's a lot of tacos. Mm. Yeah, I guess. Not gonna lie though, one thing I kind of miss about, like, not gonna lie, one thing I kind of miss about, like, old, Calliope is that one thing I kind of miss about old Calliope is how much her eyes would just vibrate whenever anyone said anything mildly sus. Like, her eyes would just, like, shake like fucking crazy. Like, I know why that happened. It's because she has, like, 3 monitors arranged around her like a fucking command center. And and the reason her eyes were shaking all over the place was because her eyes were bouncing between all 3 of them. And I guess the sensitivity was turned up on her eye tracking as well. But I think they turned down the sensitivity on her eye tracking at some point because her eyes don't vibrate erratically like that anymore. They kind of do, but not as much. Everyone misses Sana. Well, actually a lot of people from HoloEN Gen 2 have quit now, haven't they? Some of them. Most of them are still doing stuff, though. But yeah, stuff happens. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I'm still remembering, like, when HoloEN Gen 2 first joined HoloLive, and, they decided to do, like, a VR chat stream with HoloEN, and Amelia, like, commissioned some, like, shitpost avatars for all of Gen 2. So it was like, Crony was just a head, Faye was an actual, like, rat. I don't remember what all of them were, but they were very silly models. I don't think Iris was in yet, because Iris was technically her own thing and not part of any of the gens, for reasons. Sorry, Maru, I didn't say now. I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just woke up from a nap. And I was like, "Oh shit, it's late. I should stream while the day still exists." Yeah. 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 Ooh. That's some Asakoko right there. Okay, there's a lot of shit on screen now. Holy shit. Anvil. Let's see. Okay. Oh, the skeletons are getting bigger now. Okay. Ooh, burger. Ooh. All right. I think I'm... So, this is only the second Survive clone I've ever played. The first one being Be My Horde. So, things are a little different here. I'm not too used to this genre, but I think I'm getting it a little bit. Maybe. Okay, every 2 minutes a boss spawns in. Okay, that explains it. Alright. There's a lot of this. Okay. Okay, I got them. Hold on. Is the song that plays when that box opens fucking it's one of those Toho songs. No, it's not a Toho song. It's a what is that from? What is that song called? It's the one where the people bob their heads like this. No, it's not a Toho song. It's a fucking what's her name? The red-haired girl. Shit. I don't remember. What's her name? It's a Teto song. What's a Teto song? It's a Teto song. Okay, good thing I have lifesteal. I don't remember the name of the song, but it's definitely a Teto song. Oh shit. That's big. Fukireta, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Fukireta. Also, is it bad that when I remembered Fukireta, the specific version I remembered was the fucking Klingon Gowron version? Yeah. I remember now. There was a Hololive Fukireta. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Uh-oh. Alright. No! I got stuck on the geometry. Oh. Cost of enhancing is reduced by 20% and anvils appear 20% more often. Create a defensive wall that damages targets behind you. Effectiveness is increased on certain characters. Increase max HP by 10 after being hit. Heal 10% HP every 3 seconds. Alright. Let's see. Alright. Am I doing more damage now? What the heck? Yeah, I'll take some AoE. AoE seems like a really good thing to have. Ah. Also, Dad, what do you mean by power spike? Come on, come on. Overdue for Kokoro indeed. Ah, okay. So I gotta kill faster, is what you're saying. I could really do with that lifesteal power up again right now. Okay. Burger. Oh, lifesteal. Speak of the devil and it shall appear. Alright. But yeah, I was gonna stream this like way earlier in the day initially, but I don't know, man. After work, I was just very sleepy. I just couldn't focus. Like, my initial plan was to get home from work, take a nap, and then stream. So I took a nap, but then I was still tired and still couldn't focus. So I kind of just like flopped around for a while, and then I took another nap, and then it was 10 o'clock. So I was like, oh, okay, now I have the energy, so I did it. So. Yeah. These Hololive triangles don't despawn, do they? Oh, okay. That's a Yagoo. All right, good, good. Okay. Do like all the weird little mascots that they got here as enemies. I gotta say. It's like I recognize most of these. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I get some of these references that the weapons are. Oop. All right. Oh shit, okay. Tentacles galore now. Ooh, Hololive box. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just weighing the mentally. I'm not ignoring them. I'm just like weighing like what might be helpful to me right now. You know what I mean? Which I might not be the best at that calculation because I'm not experienced with this game specifically. But you know, you gotta be like, okay, how much will this help me now versus future and all that stuff. I don't necessarily know how everything interacts, all the systems like interact and stuff yet though. Okay, that leveled up body pillow again. More stuff. Yeah, more acid cocoa. Okay, so that makes sense. Oh. Okay. Gotta deal with this dancing thing. Dancing fluff ball. Bad. The screen's getting more and more full of shit. Okay. Holy shit. The brats, yeah. Does this affect all weapons, right? That's pretty good. Oh shit, 3! That's awesome! Yep, cleaning up those rats real quick. Oh wow, okay. Come on, come on. Ah, so much shit. Okay, now the big clock is here. Okay. So does it cycle through, like, every HoloMem's fan base, or what? Or is it, like, different ones depending on which character you're playing as, or... Okay, it varies from level to level. That makes sense. Okay. I trust Dowd. He's played this game a lot. And I do mean a lot. Okay. Getting a knockback from the AoE? Okay. Not sure how that makes sense, but okay. Considering it's a damage over time thing. Okay, fine. Okay. Anyway, I seem to be keeping up, kind of. Okay. 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 Sorry I'm not talking much. This game's consuming a lot of my concentration right now. Welcome back, Maru. How was your Kokoroko pie? Ah, shit. You got further. Good. Yeah, you don't have to do 10 hours again. I wonder if they, speaking of that Kokoro video, I wonder if they intentionally made it sound like the song Terracotta Pie. Or if that's just what happens when a song is that staccato. Do all staccato songs eventually converge on Terracotta Pie? Yeah, that's true. Hmm. I guess one question about this game is it better to go depth first or breadth first in terms of acquiring abilities and items and stuff? That is it better to level up your initial stuff first, or is it better to get as many things as possible first? I realize it's probably gonna be a matter of opinion thing. That is quite the sinister doubt. Oh gosh. Probably no. Oh, that's a shame. Makes sense. Shit. Okay. I can do this. Oh yeah, I guess this game does have, like, permanent upgrades that you get outside of the gameplay, doesn't it? Yeah. I want to at least try to fight the boss on this level before I start buying upgrades, though, I guess. Permanent upgrades, I mean. I want to at least try to get that far. But we'll see. Okay. Change what in my head to Umu Umu? Okay. Oh, I didn't have enough coins. Crap. Gotta tentacle this stuff. Okay. Yeah, why not? See what that does. What the fuck? It was 90% success! No. You win some, you lose some, right? There we go. This one seems special. Ooh. I like that. Stronger version of the nurse's horn. Ah. The choke guy, yeah. Oh, Choco's ASMR stuff? Yeah, I hear ya. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll take more axe, please. And there is the... I think that's a Fubuki fox, I want to say. White fox, it's probably Fubuki. Okay, bandage level 3. Oh my god, I got so many triangles. So many Cover Corp logos. Gotta get it. Gotta tentacle them all. Ow. Okay, dealing with the clocks now. Dealing with the crony clocks. So my only real beef with this game so far is just how much stuff that's kind of difficult to see that can block you from moving. Like thin signposts and stuff. I guess it's not a huge deal, but, you know, it's a little bit annoying. Okay. No! Hmm. See what's in the shop. In the shop. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. I have to roll for Coco. I have to roll for Coco. She was the first Hololive VTuber I actually like kind of got into. And she's also the only member of Hololive I have ever given money to. So yeah, I gotta roll for her. Kanata's not bad, but I want Coco. I don't know Toa that well, so no. Well, it's worth a shot. Let's try again. Now that we have some upgrades. I don't know if Big Coco Stan is the right word, but she was definitely my favorite Holomem when she was still in there. Like, Kiryu Coco's, like, Holo News segment was probably one of the few Hololive, like, things I actually watched every day back when she was doing that, you know? And all the Asakoko commercials, of course. Girl was funny. And dedicated. Yeah, really. Not only was Coco a huge reason we got Holo-EN at all, but she also, like, pushed most of the JP members to, like, branch out in their content a bit and just try to do more and different stuff. Like, if she had not joined in to Hololive and, like, done the things that she did, then a lot of them would have never really, like, found their groove, I don't think. Because, like, she really encouraged them to try and push the envelope a little bit and not just do quote-unquote idle stuff, but try to do, like, interesting things. And sure, not all of it stuck, but a lot of it did. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think the one who, although I think the one who, like, took her lessons to heart the most might have been Hachima, you know? Yeah. Now, unfortunately, corporate did make her did make Hato cut back on the Hachima stuff a bit, because Hachima had that whole arc where she was like being possessed by the spirit of Hachima and going insane and stuff. And I think what happened was that corporate told her, please stop, you're scaring people. And they made her stop doing that. But yeah. Well, to be fair, I think some of Hachimaness was also just because she got trapped in Australia during COVID. Because remember, that happened. COVID happened, and Hato was just happened to be in Australia at the time, and as a result, she could not leave. And as a result, she ended up... I think that did actually result in her getting a little more creative with her content, though, because she did some stuff. Like, trying to make... Like, she had streams of, like, trying to make Japanese food, but without the correct cooking implements, because obviously they didn't sell them in Australia. So she'd just have, like... She'd have, like, random, like, shit, and be, like, not designed for making things, and yet she'd try to make the things anyway. And, that was part of her, nightmarish cooking, was because of that. Yeah. And, of course, she'd have someone else along to, in the stream to be like, Hachima, what are you doing? That's not how you make takoyaki. That's just disgusting. And other such things like that. Although I'm given to understand that her sense of taste was already distorted long before that. As it should be. But she also really tried to, like, play into, like... She seemed to be legitimately interested in, like, Western internet culture as well, and tried to, like, get into it. Like, there was that whole bit where she spent a lot of time, like... She went through a phase where she was just, like, creating, like, classic, style, like, Rage comics and stuff, like the Trollface comics and stuff. So Hachima really did try to, like, learn Western internet culture. And had fun with it. Which I'm sure Coco was teaching her. That stuff. But yeah, I feel like when Coco left Hololive, which... I don't know if she was pushed out or if they just put so many restrictions on her that she felt she had no choice but to leave, but I felt like once Coco was gone, Hachima kind of started feeling the target was on her then, as the most extreme member, you know? Because Coco was almost like taking the heat for the others by being the weirdest one. Like, she kept management's attention on her specifically, and that, like, helped push the boundaries of what everyone else could do. So then once she left, everyone else started getting more tame again, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's actually true, but that's definitely the perception I have of what happened. So the country name thing, that actually happened, well, I think that was a contributing factor, but that happened significantly earlier, like that happened like quite a bit earlier than what I'm talking about. But I think that was why management started clamping down on Coco's actions more and more over time. Was because they lost an entire branch of the company over that shit. So it's like, I get them being a little bit, I wouldn't say it was quite an international incident per se, but things definitely escalated. Because they had to shut down the whole Hololive China branch over that shit. Which, yes, both Coco and Hato were involved in that. Although Coco took most of the heat. Yeah. Oh, a lot of crazy shit happened over that. Yeah, there was drama for fucking... I think we're probably still seeing the aftershocks of that event in the community, honestly. Heh. Ah. Yeah. Yes, the individual who shall not be named publicly is living her best life, gets to be in her favorite game series. All that good stuff. Remember, we're technically in public here. We can't say the names out loud. Even though everybody knows, we can't say it out loud. Every cloud has a silver lining. There we go, nurse's horns. I've been waiting for that. Oh, she wasn't new. She'd been active for years. It's just that she happened to go on hiatus right when the dragon showed up. And happened to come off hiatus for a little while every time the dragon went on hiatus. Don't worry about it. By the power of Atlanta, Georgia. By the power of Atlanta, Georgia. I do find it interesting, though, that despite English being her first language, she does still generally make most of her content in Japanese. I guess she just really likes Japan. Like, likes working with Japanese content creators and just likes speaking Japanese and likes appealing to the Japanese audience. Which is perfectly fine. It's good. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Level up that Asakoko. Can all items be leveled up all the way to level 7, or only your starting item? Okay, all weapons can hit level 7. Cool. What was it? I'm trying to remember. She said that it took a long time for her to do her... Coco said it took a long time for her 3D debut to happen because she was like... Because she gave the modelers and riggers for her 3D model very specific instructions, by which I mean she sent them a video of, was it Nicki Minaj that she sent them? And it's like, make my model able to do that. And it's like, none of them had even attempted to do something like that before. And having done some rigging myself, I have to say, making the butt move correctly is a huge pain in the ass. Pun absolutely intended, but also just completely true. Rigging the butt is really, really hard. It's like, no matter what you do, it feels like no matter what you do, it's going to clip through itself somehow. Because, okay, the human body is weird, and a lot of the joints move past each other in really strange ways. Because, like, the bones aren't... Because the human bones don't necessarily just pivot on a single point. A lot of them slide past each other in strange ways. Because they're actually, like, floating in a sea of muscle, more or less. And then on top of that, you have the muscle and fat around it, and the skin over that, and those all move in strange ways, which rigid body physics do not work well with. So, if you just have a basic biped rig, you're gonna have a bad time. It's not gonna work. No matter what you do, it's not gonna work. You need to have extra joints and stuff to prevent that. Okay, so the thing about the 2BS meme, it's not actually that high poly. You can tell by looking at it. They just hit subdivision on that part of the mesh, but when they made the meme. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna pull out the whiteboard this time because I don't even know how to describe the problems with rigging a butt. Okay. Point is, butts are really hard. Butts are really, really hard. Yeah, I know, Mario. You have experience doing 3D modeling, so you know. Butts are soft, and that's why making them is really hard. And not just butts. Knees are really hard, too. Knees are really, really difficult because the leg can fold over itself in a really, the human leg can fold over itself at a really tight angle, which if you try to just, yeah, the knee kind of folds over itself in a really weird way. Which, like I said, the bones are not connected to each other directly. There's 3 bones, not 2, 3, because you have the kneecap, which are floating in like a sea of muscle. And they slide over each other and around each other in a weird way. And if you try to just do that with a single pivot point, if you try to just do all that with a single pivot point, the leg is going to clip through itself in a lot of poses. You need at least 2 pivot points to make the human knee, like, work. But most stuff is not designed to do that. Like, most biped rigs, like Unity's biped rig, is not designed to handle that. So no matter what you do, you're gonna fuck it up. I had a whole conversation with someone a while... Oh, shit. Oh, whatever. I'll do that next time. Next time I go to the upgrade menu. I'm picking what I'm picking for a reason. I think. Not necessarily a good reason, but I have my reasons. Which is that they sounded vaguely good. I'll figure it out. I'll use that later once I have enough coins. What was I saying? I was ranting about something about knees. I don't remember what. But yeah, Unity's biped rig, and I imagine the biped rigs in most programs are not capable of handling actual human body bullshit. And I was talking to somebody in Monkey's Discord about this a few years ago, actually. He said he'd worked with he said he'd worked with what's his name before? He'd worked with somebody before on this stuff. It might have been Giwi. I don't know. I don't remember. But it was someone who did like 3D model commissions for stuff for people. I don't remember who exactly they worked with, or I don't even remember their name anymore. But they were we had this huge discussion about making butts work correctly and stuff, and it's a huge pain in the ass. And they were saying something about how you can do something with the bones to sort of fix that, but it's really complicated to fix. Like, even if you have a way to do that, apparently, so yeah. Anyway, another issue that you frequently have with 3D modeling stuff, 3D modeling joints, is what I'm gonna call the candy wrapper effect, is what I've heard it called, which is if you try to like twist the arm or whatever, it tends to implode into a weird point. Like, okay, hold on. So this I am gonna get the whiteboard out for, because I can actually describe this one. Which is basically the way meshes are rigged. Maru already knows this, I'm sure. So you got your triangles, which is like bit. Anyway, if you've got a bone here and a bone here, well, I guess they'd be inside the thing. And this mostly applies with the arms. If you rotate this bone here, what's going to happen, because of the way the weight painting is, which this happens whenever you, like, twist a character's hand between, like, move it, pointing, face, like, palm up and palm down, is what's going to happen is you end up with, you go from this nice, straight-ish thing to, it becomes this. And I've heard this called the candy wrapper effect. And it looks like shit. And it happens a lot because, and the reason this happens is because weight painting relies entirely on linear interpolation, which lerping is just, you go directly from point A to point B, straight, no curves. And when you do that, you end up with this shit. The way to fix that is usually what they do is they'll have, like, a couple of extra bones, which they'll use to, like, yes, this one will twist the full 180 degrees, but before that they have this one, which twists, like, 90 degrees. And then after that, they'll have this one, which also twists 90 degrees. And that softens the transition. So it doesn't fix this problem, but it does make it less noticeable. But it also makes the rigging a lot more complicated, and once again, you cannot use a standard biped rig for that. You need to use something a little more complicated. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say on that matter. Sorry. The human body is weird. Well, yeah. And that's because 3D cannot, that's because computers cannot effectively represent everything that's actually happening. Yeah. Like, if you are willing to throw the resources at it, you could do a complete physics simulation, but that's not worthwhile for something that's going to be used in real time or put in a game. It just doesn't make any sort of sense because the amount of processing power you're spending is not efficient. You need something a lot more complicated than a skinned mesh. Which, a skinned mesh is itself already fairly expensive, quite frankly. As in, like, it's expensive enough that when you're like making a game, like, they will, like, people will straight up tell you, hey, keep the number of skinned meshes to a minimum because those are expensive to render. And if you're doing it as a whole physics simulation, that's going to be a hell of a lot more expensive than just a skinned mesh. Ugh. But yeah. Yeah, you do that. Like, yeah, like, a lot of games will have, like, multiple versions of a character model. Because, like, you'll have the gameplay version of the model, and then sometimes you can get away with just one cutscene model, but often you end up with, like, but often you end up with like every cutscene having its own slightly different version of that cutscene model, because that cutscene will have its own stuff that they want to. That cutscene will have its own stuff that they want to do with it. Like, in this version of the cutscene, we want the hand to move specifically like this, which is going to necessitate a more detailed hand model for just this cutscene, which we're not going to need for the rest of the game. So we're only going to use it in this cutscene. Holy shit, I got 3. Yeah. Like, the game where it's probably the most obvious that they have cutscene specific. The game where it's probably most obvious that they have a separate model for each cutscene is probably Sonic Adventure 2. But I'm sure it's obvious in a lot of games. I'm just mentioning Sonic Adventure 2 specifically because you can even see that they're swapping out the hand models on a not even a per cutscene basis, a per camera cut basis. They're swapping out parts of the models. And that's one of the reasons why porting the game is such a nightmare, because they have dozens of versions of these models that are not easily swapped out. And I'm sure a lot of games were similar. Like, you can also see that to a lesser degree on a lot of like N64 games, where characters will gain fully detailed fingers for like one part of one cutscene, and then the next shot it's back to the low detail hand, just because they only render them in as needed because the resources were limited. Some games, it's also a lot more obvious if you're emulating them and running them at a lot higher resolution than they were meant to be seen at. Because that makes all sorts of things show up that the low resolution hid. All sorts of interesting tricks. You do what you have to do to achieve what you need to with the resources you have. You do what you have to achieve what you want to with the resources you have. GoldenEye on the N64 is jank as fuck. Like, sure, for the time it looked good, but Well, good, quote unquote. It was very brown and gray. It was very ahead of its time, actually, in just how brown and gray it was. The brown and gray aesthetic would not take off in the mainstream gaming for another 7-ish years or so after that game came out. You know I'm right. Which, I mean, whether or not the brown and gray aesthetic is a bad thing does depend on what you're looking to accomplish. Like, if you're making that choice because it, like, a lot of it is, are you making that choice because it's the correct choice for the goal, for the look you're going for? Or are you making that choice because that's what's popular right now? If you're only making that, if you're only going for the brown and gray aesthetic because that's what other games are doing, you're making the wrong decision. Like, the reason the brown and gray aesthetic got popular was because... The reason the brown and gray aesthetic got popular in, like, the mid-2000s was because... there were a lot of, like, World War II shooters where the brown and gray aesthetic made sense because World War II was a shit show for everybody involved and it was hell. And it just and battlefields tended to look like that after like a couple of weeks of continuous bombardment and shit. But then, like, Battlefield and Call of Duty did that, and suddenly, since those were the games that were popular, suddenly everybody was going for that aesthetic, even when it made no sense whatsoever for the game or setting they were making, just because that's what the popular games were doing. And that's why bright gray and brown became dominant during that period of gaming. Gray and brown and too much bloom. And it took many, many years for gaming to recover from that and for saturated colors to start appearing in games again. And I think in many ways it still hasn't actually completely recovered from that. There's still a lot of games that are brown and gray with no saturated colors at all. But, you know, at least there's some again. But yeah, GoldenEye went for that look specifically because I guess they were going for that specific look. And also, at that time, it was not the most common look. So they did it for art reasons rather than it just being the popular look at the time, I guess. That said, there were a lot of PS1 and N64 games that were brown and gray, but it was not the dominant look on those consoles. It was just a common one, I guess. Specifically for, like, edgy games, specifically. Like Daikatana or whatever was popular at the time. I don't know. Was Daikatana popular? I don't know. It's just a name that stuck out in my brain. Fair. But yeah. But yeah, there just became this perception that reality is brown and gray, even though, for the most part, reality is not actually brown and gray unless you're in, like, Eastern Europe or something. Like, yes, there are parts of the world that are brown and gray, but only parts of the world are like that. Not all of it. And generally speaking, if people have the choice, they will not live in a place that is brown and gray. Because it looks like shit. I mean, unless you're my dad, because my dad has really boring color tastes. But, you know, we don't talk about that. My dad really likes everything to be brown and gray, but that's because he's boring. Yeah, fair enough. I am the one who brought it up. But I guess also, like, I don't know, I feel like almost there's like a corporate, not corporate, but like, there seems to be this, I guess, like, I don't know, some of like the like rich people like houses that they like build not even to live in, but just like to show off. A lot of those are brown and gray too, I guess. For whatever reason. Like the ultra modern homes that are owned by people who have really punchable faces. Well, that are built by people with really that are designed by people with really punchable faces. Like Silicon Valley guys and shit. You know who I'm talking about. And it's like the house is less completely sterile white with no color whatsoever. And also is just completely made out of, like, weird boxes. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly what happened to the modern fast food places. Like, remember when Wendy's and Burger King and McDonald's actually had character to them? Like, you'd go in, and the place actually looked soft and colorful and playful, and you'd sit down, you could relax, you could eat with, like, time to spare, you could sit back, you could let your kids go into, like, the weird tube system and, like, crawl around in there for, like, half an hour. They wanted you to stay there. They wanted you to feel welcome. But, it's not like that anymore. I don't know. I've seen several restaurants that still have, like, the kid tubes, but they're not open. Like, they closed them during COVID, and they never reopened them. They're still there in the building, but they don't let anyone use them. Like, they're closed off. Like, I think some restaurants have even dismantled them, but a lot of them haven't yet. They're still there. It's just you're not allowed to use it. And it's a shame, too, because, like, there's a burger... It's not there anymore. There used to be a Burger King, not far from me, which had... it was interesting, because the dining room was actually in the basement. So what you do, you go in on the ground floor. Okay, hold on. You go in on the ground floor. Sorry about this. So you'd go in on the ground floor, and you'd have the counter. And then, but the ground floor did not have anywhere to sit. The actual dining room was down in the basement. And this was where the tables and chairs was in the basement. And then, in the basement, they also had a bunch of those little, like, computer terminals with, like, all the weird little Burger King games on them. And they also had the entrance to this really big play tube system. And not only did it extend up through the first floor, not only did it extend up from the basement to the ground floor, it also extended way up out of the restaurant's roof. Like, the Burger King roof had the roof, and the tube system extended out of the roof. So this thing was like 3 stories high. And it was just the play place for the kids. And that was awesome. Like, when I was like 10 years old or whatever, that was awesome. I loved that place. I loved going in that thing. I always liked going to that Burger King. I always liked playing around in there. And as far as I'm aware, that Burger King doesn't exist anymore. They closed it and demolished it at some point. But it was really cool back when it was a thing. That's all I have to say on that. Anyway. Things were better then. Well, certain things were better then. It even happened to fucking TGI Fridays. Like, remember TGIF? Remember when TGIF was cool? And there was this like nice homely feel, and they had like shit all over the walls, just like cool stuff. Like you'd look at the wall, and there'd be like a Commodore 64, and there'd be a Commodore 64, and then there'd be like a Millennium Falcon model right next to it, and there'd be Blues Brothers statues on top of that, and then there'd be like a canoe on top of that, and it was all this cool stuff just hanging on the walls of TGIF. And they had this, but then at some point they decided to modernize it and clean it up, and they got rid of all the stuff, and it didn't look like TGIF anymore. It just looked like a generic ass restaurant with no character to it whatsoever. It was just plain blank walls, and like, bruh, you got rid of all the conversation pieces. Like, why am I coming here now? For the food? I ain't coming to TGIF for the fucking food. I can make better food myself at home in less time than it takes you to bring out my fucking food. I can make the same food but better myself. Like, I am coming here for the atmosphere, my dude. But, you know, at least the food was still okay at TGIF for a while. But then what happened after that? Well, a few years after that, COVID hit, and things got worse. So during COVID, what happened was TGIF's portions got smaller. Like, we would still like get their takeout sometimes, just because I guess my dad liked the flavor. Oh no, we're getting bread dogs. We're getting Doogs. We haven't seen these yet before. So during COVID, their portions got smaller. They insisted they didn't, but it was very obvious that their portions were smaller. It was very obvious that their portions got smaller. And then after COVID, like after places started reopening, they, at least my local one, still remained a takeout only restaurant for some reason. Like, the restaurant was still there, the bar was still open, but if you wanted to go there to eat a meal, they just wouldn't let you. They didn't have a greeter. If you walked in and just, like, waited where the greeter would normally greet you and take you to your table, they just wouldn't. Like, you could be standing there for half an hour and nobody would even talk to you. And if you, like, went to find someone and ask, like, hey, I'd like to eat in, please, they'd be like, no, we don't do that anymore. Then why the fuck do you still have the whole ass building with a dining room that you're not using? Anyway, then that continued for a while, and then until finally, like, a few months ago when they went bankrupt and most of their locations closed. My local one closed. Apparently there's a few of them left, but they're not around here. So, I guess so. Oh shit, it's a giant anime! She's ground pounding! She's ground pounding! I've made it to the Amelia Watson. My God. I feel like I got this, maybe. Unless her attack pattern suddenly changes and she gets a lot faster or something. Yes, I know she'll ground pound my mom. I don't want that to happen. My mom would be very confused by the entire experience, to be honest. I don't think she knows what VTubers are. Nor do I want to have that conversation with her, to be perfectly honest. Ooh, golden anvil. I don't know what that does, but we'll find out. Holy shit. I win! I have won my first stage. I'm getting a lot of achievements behind me. Double hat. Glasses. Yeah! Fool's paw. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna roll for Coco again. Nope, I got a Kanata again. I got a Kanata again. Come on, last try. I got a Kanata again. Okay, this game really wants me to have Kanata, I guess. This game really wants me to have PP Tenchi. I guess I will try the PP Tenchi. I do have an alt outfit. So rather than Coco, I will be playing as Coco's roommate, who she keeps in a cooking pot. Increase the amount of 20%. Amount of grabs nearby targets, dealing 50% damage. So what's this? Right mouse button. What's the so what's the controller version of that button, Dowd? If I'm using an Xbox controller. Okay. So that was right trigger. And then I think left trigger is... I think left trigger is the... item. Stamps. Ah. Let's see. Okay. Oh wow, it's after midnight already. Anyway, yeah, this game is actually pretty fun, I think. I could get used to playing this, I think. The PP Tenchi will grab you with her massive gorilla hands. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I saw that there's like there was a status update post like a few days ago from KU, the dev. Yeah. Right? Whammy water. Create a splash of unknown water in front. Knockback. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll take the AoE. I'll take some Hachima's cooking. Oh, item combos. Okay. I'll have to look at that in a bit. Ah, okay. Sounds good. I'll keep experimenting as I play this game. That injection type Asakoko seems like a really risky item. Which, to be fair, it's drugs. What do you expect? Yeah. I guess if you have enough healing items, it's fine, but... like, if you can heal faster than it drains. Right. Super credit card. There's a lot of skeletons. Well, let's see. Okay. What's that? Oh. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'll take that. Okay. I don't know what that did, but I tried it. I'm getting ambushed by rats. There's rats, Luigi. get crushed by Kanata's powerful hands. Big clock coming. It's the clock king. Ooh, something. I don't know. I don't know the fan names of these VTubers. I'm gonna be honest. Cronies, okay. That makes sense, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Really? What's the potential negative impact of upgrading a weapon that isn't my main? Oh. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Very cool. The more you know. Oh well. I'm gonna roll for Coco one more time. Toa again. That makes sense. That makes sense. Next time I do upgrades, I'll go for that. Anyway, this has been fun. I think I'll probably play more of this in the future. But, I've been at this for almost 3 hours now, and, I think I've streamed enough of this tonight. This has been fun. I can definitely see myself playing more of this. But, I think I'm done for tonight. Thanks for coming, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful night.